Honorable Vice Chancellor, Rector, Registrar, heads of different departments, faculty, students. It is my honor and pleasure to be here back at home at my alma mater to share some thoughts and ideas of my journey with you. Let's start with congratulating students who worked so hard to earn this degree. I was excited to see all women getting so many gold medalists, the first grade. It's unbelievable. Okay. India as a country need to really realize the power of women, and it's great to see that's happening in this university. And to congratulate family members who sacrificed, who worked so hard to help you get to your college degree. I know my parents, who were small-scale farmers, who saved every rupee to make sure the kids could go to school and college. And congratulate all the teachers who worked hard. Without their support, you couldn't be where you are. This graduation is a big milestone in its journey and gets you ready for the future. I have fond memories of my days at BHU. The beautiful campus, the ghats. I still recall going for strolls at Lanka, Pahalwan's Long Latha, and a few other things. And I enjoyed the boating club that university had. The funny part was to join it, you had to swim across the Ganges to get qualified. Great memories. Coming back to see, India has progressed so much. For the last 10, 20 years, it's really amazing progress. The current administration, for example, Mr. Modi, the digitization stuff, the Aadhaar program, the payment systems. There used to be a time we used to think that, can we really borrow the Western technology and adapt in India? Now, some of these newer technologies, the West is figuring out how do I build a system around Aadhaar and payment system and all the kind of amazing stuff that's being done. To do all these things, you are the future leaders. You are the folks who go out there and drive these programs and make things happen. This rising India offers you lots and lots of opportunities. But as everything in life, you need to go out and reach them. You need to work hard to get them. Right? Sometimes I wonder if my life is real or I'm simply dreaming. Okay. Because I was born and raised, like many of you, in a small village in Himalayas, the state of Himachal Pradesh. My parents were small-scale farmers. In fact, we got electricity after I finished my 8th class. My sister and I used to fight over who is going to clean the kerosene lamp, because that's the only way to study. I finished my 10th grade and we got running education. I still recall in a school, the first thing some of us would do, go to the village well and fetch water so students could actually drink water during the day. Okay. But India actually has offered good school, easy education. They may not be the best schools in every village, but the fact that there were good schools available. I know my primary school, we had 5 classes and 2 classrooms. Okay. But it didn't matter. You could be blaming the system, or you could be making the best of what you have and move ahead. Okay. My parents worked hard as small-scale farmers. I learned a lot of value of hard work, honesty, and integrity from my parents, who never had a chance to go to school. But those are fundamental values that have stayed with me all my life. In school, I had some great teachers, starting with high school. I still recall my headmaster, Shri Chaudhry Sharma, who went out of the way to help. Okay. At BHU, I had great teachers. It laid the foundation for my journey. In fact, I made lifelong friends. A number of my classmates are still in touch with us, making a lot of contribution to society. In fact, my classmate, Kailash, who worked with me, who went to school with me at IIT BHU, became the chief architect to start Zscaler. So some of these friendships in college, they go a long way. They are some of the best friendships out there. And after I got, it's kind of interesting. When I finished my high school, I did not even know that IITs existed. Okay. I was doing pre-university. My professors in my small town didn't even know about IITs. Okay. One day, one of my professors, who had a distant relative in IIT Delhi, he was talking to him, and my professor, this was Professor V.K. Vashist, a very good teacher. This was at Una. He told his relative that I have a good student who is gold medalist from Himachal University. And the relative said, has he applied to IITs? And my professor said, what is IITs? Okay. He explained, and that's how I kind of got exposed, and I came in as a gold medalist to join BHU. It's interesting, once I came here, I had a bigger shock to come from village to BHU than going from BHU to US to do my master's. And here, great education, great system, and lots of us would go to US for higher education. At that time, India had limited opportunities. Now it's a very changed India with tons of opportunities. But I could only go to school if I could get a scholarship, because there's no way my parents could pay for the tuition fee. So I got a tuition scholarship, and I was excited and ready to go. I didn't realize that I had to buy a plane ticket. Okay. And wow, I mean, there's no way to get in loans or whatnot. I felt like it won't happen. And I was disappointed, but I kept on thinking about, I went to some libraries, researched, and one day I stumbled across this Tata loan scholarships for students to study abroad. It's like, wow. I filled it up, I applied, I got that scholarship, and this was a one-way plane ticket. This is what they will buy and give you $200, and they say, go and succeed, and if you do, return this money so we could give it to another student. So Tata had a great impact in the success of my life. You know, you always come across opportunities. If you work hard, you do good things happen to you. They may not happen every time, but 9 out of 10 times, people who work hard, go the extra mile, things happen to them. Okay. Some of you may say, well, I don't have all the facilities, things some of the other rich people have. I don't think you should think about that. Adversity is a wonderful thing. Adversity makes you figure things out, what to do, how to do things. Okay. My childhood adversity, I think, was the best thing to give us the work ethics, the hard work, the things you need to do in life, the simple lifestyle you need. Right? Think of it. Okay. In fact, some of the examples how you become creative. In high school, I was a pretty good student. I always loved to study. Okay? There's a book in my hand all the time. The more you study, the more you learn, the more you got good at it, the cycle starts. Okay? And one day, I was talking to my headmaster. He said, so I have finished my high school books. I want to go and get some college level books so I could prepare better lessons for geography and some of the other topics. And I know I couldn't buy them, I couldn't afford it. And he said, I'll help you. Go and pick up whatever books you need from the bookstore, buy them, We'll buy them under the school, you keep them for a year, and we'll put them in the college school library. These things happen when you really work hard, you take care of things. So falling in love with learning, with education is fundamental. I can tell you, everything I've done in life is because of learning. And learning, not because you need to. Sometimes in India, people think about getting a degree is important. It's more about learning. In fact, at Zscaler, we don't even care about degrees. We take tests. People who can do good software development, they get hired. People who just have a great degree, they don't. So less focus on just getting a degree, more focus on learning, figuring things out is very, very important for us. After my bachelor's, I went to the US, I got my master's. Just like lots of Indian students, I was doing software development as an engineer. That's how lots of us went there. And I worked for a small startup in Cincinnati that wrote software. And one day, our sales engineer, the only one sales engineer we had, he fell sick. And my boss said, there's a customer demonstration. Why don't you do the demo since you wrote the system? Wow, I never done a demo to a customer, especially in the US, accent things, all this stuff. But the demo went very well. And as I drove home, I said, I had a lot more fun doing that demonstration than writing code all day long. Okay. That was a turning point in my career. I realized that I love to engage with customers more than writing code. So that was a turning point in my life. I probably discovered that that's what I love more. So understanding your passion, the areas you like, is important. But you need to really try, work hard, figure that stuff out, improve. I also knew that customer engagement needed better communication. In fact, when I came to BHU from my village, my English was so broken. Grammar was broken, accent was grown. I made up the pronunciation of every word on my own because that's what I learned. In fact, some of the students, my friends, will make fun of my English. So I went to a good friend who had come from convent-educated school, but was weak in math and chemistry. I said, let's do a deal. I'm going to teach you math and chemistry, you're going to fix my English. Okay. And we worked on it, it got better and better. And I went to the US, I carried on the same thing. Figuring out the areas of weakness and improving upon them is very, very important. So those are some of the important things we should be doing. Right? Now, as I moved to IBM, I learned sales, the business world. It was a great company, great training ground. Moved and worked for a few other companies. And then the next main change in my life came for starting companies was in about 96 timeframe. This is when the internet was just beginning. In the US, a company called Netscape was launched with a Mozilla browser. World Wide Web was happening. And since I love to read, I was saying, wow, with a simple browser, you could access information. This should change the world. But if it does, everyone will be connected to internet, and there'll be some cyber risks out there. And then he said, there will be a need for cyber security. And then this young person who had started Netscape, his name was Mark Andreessen. He was a young student. He had just come out of engineering, and he said to my wife, Jyoti, who's also in IT, and she comes from MBA in finance background. I said, if this young guy could do a startup, why shouldn't I do a startup? Crazy idea. There's no background of entrepreneurship in my family of small-scale farmers. So you don't necessarily have to have a plan you write on day one. You evolve, you change, you try things, you learn, you take advantage of opportunities. But if I'm not looking, reading, understanding the market scope, I wouldn't have known about these things. Okay. So Jyoti and I decided that I will do a startup. She didn't want to get into it. And I put a business plan, went to venture capitalists in Atlanta looking for money, and most of them said, what startup experience do you have? None. So, no funding. And it was a little disappointing. But by the time I was researching about cyber, what, why not, the more I researched, the more conviction I built, the more desire became into burning desire and say, I got to do this. And then Jyoti and I talked. I said, the only way it can be done, if we take our life savings and put it on the line and start a company, it's a tough decision. We debated over a week, and then here's our final decision happened. What's the worst thing that could happen? The company fails. We lose our savings. The next question was, could we get a job again? The answer, of course, is enough confidence. Said, go. That's how we kind of made a decision. It may sound like a tough decision. When you look at what's the worst thing, what can be done, some of these decisions become easy in life. And since our funds were limited, so I kind of said, Jyoti, why don't you quit your job as well? The notion was, let's burn the bridges, no turning back, no looking back. When you have that stuff, there's a different kind of urgency. When you put your money into a venture, it's very different kind of urgency. That's also ability to take risks in life is very, very important. And to me, perhaps I wonder how and why it happened. I never seen money. I had no attachment for money. I didn't care about money, so probably that's what made it easier for me to take this chance and move on. And I think it's a good thing. Okay, money, there's no end to it. In fact, happiness is a state of mind. It has very, very little to do with money. Think about this stuff. Go and to make a difference in the world, make a difference in life, those things matter quite a bit. And when that company took off, it became quite successful, got acquired by a large company. I had a lot of these people who did extremely well. And I said, wow, startups are supposed to be hard. This was easy. It must be a fluke. Let's do it again. Then Jyoti and I started 3 more companies, but we staggered them like you have kids 1 or 2 years apart. Okay, it all worked very well because we had great teams, great people, lots of hard work, good timing. All those things come together. There are no shortcuts in life. There's no such thing as free lunch. Don't look for free lunch. Look that working hard is a good thing. And don't ever look for shortcuts. The question I would ask is, what am I doing differently than others to get ahead? If I'm doing the same thing that they are doing, how do I get ahead? You don't. And you need to spend time to learn these things. When I moved to sales in IBM, I realized that in sales, some of these relationships and connections are more important. I didn't have very many. This was a cultural gap. Born and raised here, Americans, their own little cultures and beer buddies and all, football games and all. I didn't enjoy a lot of that. So I said, how do I become a better salesperson than them? How do I compete better? So look at the area of strength I had. I was good at learning, figuring out. So I set aside 4 hours every Saturday and say, I'm going to learn and be better about systems and solutions of IBM than anybody else in my company. In about 6 months, I was better than all of them, and they'll ask me, please come and do a presentation to my customer. Think about it. What have you done to go the extra mile? Fundamentally very important. In your life, go and deliver more than what you're asked to do. Think about it. Many times people complain, I had done this, I'm not getting taken care of. That may be true in a short term, but in a long term in life, people who work hard, who are diligent, honest, drive things, they succeed. The other thing I learned in my life is a positive mental attitude, a positive outlook in life. We become what we think. What we think is impacted by who we hang around with, what we read, what we watch. All this thought process is impacting our outlook, state of mind. That's how you should be thinking about it. Okay, if you want to get ahead in certain areas, having friends who think about the stuff, doing kind of stuff is very, very important in life. It becomes wonderful happiness. I mean, I get asked many times is, hey Jay, you could have retired after your first startup. Why are you running around and working so hard? I said, wow, if I didn't, what will I do? I can go to the beach. I'm bored after a couple of hours. I love mountains. I love nature, having born in Himachal. But after a couple of weeks, there's an urge to say, let's go and do something to make a difference in the world. Your life is too precious. Life is too wonderful. I have a simple philosophy in life. If you love your life, you don't waste your time, because that's the stuff life is made of. And if you don't waste time, what do? You do something to make a difference in the world. That's why at Zscaler, we don't really look at it as a business. We look at a mission, securing the world. When you do work somewhere, don't look at work as work. Make it a hobby. It's a state of mind. If you don't like something, get out of it and find something that you enjoy. But when you enjoy the stuff, it's not work anymore. When I work at Zscaler, it is fun, and it's all can be done early on. Some of these things may look hard, but as you work hard, you master them. They get easier and easier in life. The other area you should think about is dream big. You need to start with dreams. You aren't going to go beyond what you dream. Okay. Starting with that, but a dream without proper plan and execution, which requires a lot of hard work, becomes nothing. But as you want to go after something, if you research, you figure out, you spend time at it, you start moving ahead. You start finding people, connecting things to make a difference. I mean, that's what I did when I did Zscaler. I research everything. I talk about and finding the solution, figuring out, learning. Things don't happen overnight. You may tweak, change, refine. Those things become very, very important in life. Then, the other thing I've done always is said, don't chase money. Chase making a difference. A sense of accomplishment is what drives human beings. Think about achieving things. Think about, I did this thing. It's moving this thing forward. All those things become extremely important in life. Probably one of the biggest things I learned in my life, to be self-confident and self-critical at the same time. You need confidence to move forward to do things. You can't be second-guessing yourself all the time. But a sense of being able to look at yourself and what you're doing in a critical fashion allows you to stay grounded. It allows you to improve, because if you are looking for the areas of improvement all the time, you're going to work on them, you're going to make them better. It's a lifelong journey. Every weekend, I spend 15 to 30 minutes looking at what did I do well last week? What did I screw up? How do I do better? What can be done? Think about it. To be a better person, to be a better professional, to be a better father, better mother, or better son. Those things are very important. So today is a very special day for you. You got your degree It's an important step, but you need to make the most of this life. It offers opportunities for you. It opens doors for you. But beyond the opening of the door, where you go, where you get ahead, is all under your control. Okay. And rather than trying to blame other things, try to really figure out and go and work extra hard, work smart to make a difference. You need to change things along the way. Life is not the same. Life is moving at a fast pace. Technology is changing. How we do business is changing. All that stuff is changing. With AI, ML, generative AI, there are massive changes coming along. Human beings are amazing. They can adapt. You should be adapting as life demands for you to adapt. So your future is in your hands. There will be challenges along the way many, many times. Life is not a straight line. Ups and downs, but there are tons of opportunities that will come along. Those of you who will grab them, work on them, figure out, will do extremely well. With that, I want to wish you the best of luck for the best of your journey. I'm very thankful for BHU to consider me to come here and share my thoughts with you. Alma maters are always special. Thank you.